All right, for the past 7 seasons, he has been the head coach of the Army Black Knights basketball team. Now he's coming to Philadelphia as a new head coach of the Drexel Dragons, and he joins us now for our big talk of the day. That would be Zach Spiker. Welcome to the show, Zach, and welcome to town.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us, guys.
Now, you and I were just talking. I know this isn't your first time in town.
No, not at all.
You were actually at one of the more Barrett played in this game, as a matter of fact.
Is that right?
What's this?
1995, right?
Yep.
Eagles-Cowboys, the infamous Barry Switzer game, where the Eagles stuffed them and took care of business.
Yeah.
4th and 1 twice.
Uh-huh.
I was there.
And there was a delay game, so they really had to stop them 3 times.
Talking about the audacity to just have that much. I don't know what
Stones.
you call it. Yeah. I want to say that, but I'm trying to stay out of trouble these days.
I was at that game. I had tickets with my friend, and we sat up in the 700 level.
It was cold.
You really got a baptism, didn't you?
The shadow of the jumbotron.
Uh-huh.
Right, and you try and get some hot cocoa, but it's a Cowboys cheering section, so they were out of hot chocolate before the game ever started.
Of course they were.
You couldn't feel anything below your knees.
I was freezing that game. Even I was out there on the field playing, and it was cold.
It was freezing. I fell in love with Philadelphia that day. And then went to Jim's on South Street for a steak.
Oh, you had the complete day.
I'll tell you what,
total
man.
package.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, first of all, it's got to be really exciting for you. You come to Drexel, a very storied program, obviously. You come from Army, where you had a great deal of success. In a situation, let's face it, it's a difficult place to recruit. But interestingly enough, Barrett, Zach is one of 3 coaches to win 65 games or more at Army. You know the other 2 are?
Who's that?
Bobby Knight and Coach K.
Wow.
All right, that kind of speaks to the kind of company that he was in at Army. So what are your thoughts on coming to Drexel, and why was this something, a challenge you wanted to tackle?
Well, first off, I didn't score any points at Army. We had good players, and those guys played really hard, and it was a special place to work and live for 7 years, and we loved our experience. But just as exciting as it was to be there, it's an honor to be in Philadelphia and be part of Drexel basketball and Philadelphia basketball. The tradition, the players that have been there, the Malik Roses, the Michael Andersons, it's exciting to be a part of that and to get things going in that direction.
It's probably easier to recruit now that you're at Drexel now, especially in the area.
Every school can have a challenge. Every school can have opportunities, and we're going to find out what works for Drexel with the unit that's there and help complement their skill set and put a team on the floor that we hope Philadelphia will be very proud of.
Now, you grew up around the game of basketball. You grew up in West Virginia. Your dad was a trainer for the Mountaineers, correct?
Yeah, he was. My dad was a trainer. I actually met my wife there. She was assistant soccer coach there. So West Virginia certainly has a big part of my growing up and experience around athletics. When I grew up, I followed the Atlantic 10. Mark Macon.
Oh yeah.
Mark Macon was a hero of mine, and watching St. Joe's and Rodney Blake and some historic games there.
Yep.
The Atlantic 10 All-Star team came to Morgantown to practice, and I was 10 years old, and I got to be involved and watch a practice and be a ball boy. So I played Mark Macon one-on-one every day.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That's cool.
I didn't win.
No, yeah. Mark used to get his shots off, that's for sure. So, speaking of Philadelphia basketball, Villanova playing tomorrow night.
Sure.
Final Four, tough matchup certainly against Oklahoma and Buddy Hield. We've seen Hield just go crazy in this tournament really throughout the entire season. What's the biggest thing for Villanova and just trying to contain him and that Oklahoma squad?
I think Coach Wright in Villanova has an advantage going into the game because they lost to Oklahoma earlier in the year.
Yeah.
There's a little more of a chip and payback and revenge. Forget everything else and records and all the pomp and circumstance, the celebration around the Final Four. They got a chance to pay a team back, one of the few teams that beat them.
Yeah.
Oklahoma
beat him handily.
Right, Oklahoma saying we got these guys by 23 in Hawaii. We're fine, and they may be comfortable. I think the bigger challenge will be to make sure Oklahoma's dialed in. But at this point in the year, as we saw yesterday on Comcast, everybody's gotten better.
Yeah.
Right. So the challenge is, what do? Are you gonna hold Buddy Hield scoreless? That's unlikely.
Yeah.
But you can make him work very hard to make the shots as low quality as possible, and over time. He's going to take shots. As long as they're not quality looks and he's working for them, you can wear him down. And then I think another way to attack him is make him guard somebody.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
guys
work him on the other end.
A lot of times guys that score, right? If you're talking tempo back in the day, you're going at Mike Vrieswick.
Yeah.
Right? Because you want to make him work on the defensive
end. Tell you what,
end.
man, Zach knows his Temple history here.
Exactly.
I like it.
Well, looking at that, you got a guy like Michael Bridges coming in. He's probably going to draw the card as far as handling, Buddy one-on-one. And him being a true freshman, how big is that going to play in this game?
I don't think anyone's a freshman in March, especially in April in the Final Four. I mean, true freshman just signifies his age, but he has loads of experience, and he's playing with a ton of confidence right now. I don't think that's that big a deal. And no one is going to have the responsibility to say, you're in charge of shutting down Buddy Hield. That's a 1-on-5 situation. Everyone's got to be aware of him and guard him and know where he is at all times.
Let me ask you, being a coach and having somebody like Ryan Archidiakono on the floor for you, 4-year senior. Jay always talks about how I don't even need to communicate with the guy. We have a like mind. How big is that for a coach in these kind of moments where sometimes players can get overwhelmed by the bright lights of the Final Four?
It's huge, and we use the phrase a lot at West Point. You're breathing the same air. You're on the same sheet of music. When you've got that shared experience, which head coach and a senior point guard have, there's a lot of conversations, and it's back and forth dialogue. It's not like, hey, we got to do this. It's, what do you think about this? This is working out there. So I think it's a huge advantage that you've got that relationship. It's not just with a point guard. Any 4-year player, any 4-year player, you've got that. And we had a senior-laden group, and sometimes it was, you go in the huddle and you're asking questions, right? What are you thinking? And we've all had those experiences where you've got guys together, you're just working together. And I think that's exactly what we're going to try and do at Drexel is create a buy-in in a situation where we're all trying to do the same thing. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we're making this city very proud.
Well, Barrett was talking about it. I mean, you certainly had your recruiting challenges at Army, but you look at it in Philadelphia, you have so many schools in such a condensed area. I mean, you talk about the City Six.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things about Philadelphia is there's so many schools in this area.
I don't really like to use the word challenge. I think anytime you use the word challenge, you can replace it with opportunity. There's so many the positives of being in Philadelphia, being part of six schools right here in the city playing basketball, far outweigh whatever people might think is a disadvantage.
Right.
I think it's huge to be in this area. This is a basketball-crazed city, and you can just go through every team. Penn has as much championship tradition over time as anybody. LaSalle, Elite Eight. Villanova, unbelievable what they're doing again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And certainly Temple and St. Joe, their experience and their success speaks for itself. So, and Drexel has done those things. One of my favorite games in Drexel basketball history, at the Palestra, Drexel beating David Robinson and Navy. As an Army guy, you know I love that one. But
exactly.
It was also a huge game for Drexel, too.
Exactly right. All right, so finally, have you spoken with the other guys in the city, the other coaches and whatnot? It's such a fraternity in the city. Have you spoken with the guys from St. Joe's Temple, Villanova, et cetera?
I have spoken to some, not all. Some are busy at the Final Four.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
Jay's
even
a little
expect
busy.
them to communicate.
Exactly.
Coach Donahue and I worked together for 5 years. I was his assistant. I poured coffee and got him water and bagels up at Ithaca, New York.
We had him on a couple weeks
Whatever
ago.
it takes,
Yeah, we were at Cornell.
All right. Well, great stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
We're looking forward to it, man. We're
Definitely.
really looking forward
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations on the new gig and best of luck this season.
We're excited to be here. Look forward to having you guys come out to the DAC for a game.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.